Yappa yappa palabi. Yappa yappa palabi. Yappa yappa palabi. To listen to podcasts. Hello everyone. Welcome back. It's Don't Know What to Do. I hear it's your favorite podcast. Who knows? I mean, you got the free tickets for it. I'm your host, as always, Elena or Hedgie, and once again, I've invited another friendly face back to the podcast. Say hello.
You forgot my name, haven't you?
It's Dan.
There we go. Sorry.
You know what? I try not to say people's names, specifically because of, like, online handles. Especially since I use both my actual name and username.
It also doesn't occur to me that I'm using my streamer name on my Discord here, so.
I have sometimes wondered exactly that, of like, does it just sound like I don't remember their name?
I mean, it was the perfect pause for that assumption.
But yes, welcome back, and I hope you're ready to enjoy discussing plenty of stuff. You know, with that intro, I bet some listeners got really excited for talking about some of the more well-known parts of Ranma. I feel like most people who watched it in the 90s watched the first Ranma movie. It's one of the most, like, recognizable things. So logically, we're gonna watch some OAVs instead.
Wait, what was the first movie? Was that the Pickles one?
Yes.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah, and the fact that you could just call it the Pickles one, I bet a lot of people, even people who probably didn't even know that was a movie or barely remember it, would be like, all right, that, with the pickles.
Yes. Sometimes the real treasure is the pickles we made along the way.
Exactly. So, I've assigned some homework for this one. I got a list of things to watch, and I don't believe I gave you a lot of information as to why I decided to put these together, why I want to do an episode covering all of these.
I couldn't really piece it together myself, no.
So, the theme we're kind of going here, we're kind of covering things that sometimes get called movies and sometimes don't. And just to tackle the question of, what's a movie?
I mean, Team Ranma versus the legendary Phoenix. I had to look it up, but apparently it was only called a movie because it was a theatrical release with, like, two other fairly small, like, short pieces. I can't remember what they were, but they were all about the same length as this one.
Yeah, it was a triple feature.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the other Ranma movies, the movie movies, the ones everybody recognizes as this is a movie, those were parts of double features.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And good luck finding information on what they were aired with. That part never gets chronicled well on wikis. But, like, yeah, a lot of people call Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix, quote, the third movie. It's listed that way in a lot of things, including Wikipedia. Wikipedia lists it as one of the three movies.
At the end of the day, Wikipedia is still maintained by people who listen to other people and who list, like, notable sources. And sometimes those notable sources are also repeating wrong information, but, you know.
Yeah, a lot of these is just things getting telephoned. People heard it as that. My first time hearing about it, I saw it referred to as a movie. And there's also the question of, what is an OVA? What counts as that?
I mean, the OVA is self-explanatory, is the original video animation, or original animated video in the other means of it. Sort of direct-to-video, basically.
Yeah, but, like, there are things that, like, don't get included. Like, for example, the Hot Song Contest specials. Those were also original animation, and those were, like, aired separately. They were, it was a video. You had to order the VHS tape version of it. And, it wasn't like an episode. It was like a weird little variety show thing to do a little, like, in-universe music videos.
Oh, so it was omake.
I suppose, but, like, that doesn't count. There are 4 clip shows, 2 of which aired on TV, the other two were also released to video, one of which is like weird because like the animation style looks like season 1. So I'm like, is that just something that got cut and then they released it separately as part of the like the mailing list? The live action movie.
Oh, wait, that actually came out?
Yeah, there was a televised live action movie. It was the same length as the theatrical movies, but like that doesn't get listed with the movies. That gets listed as like other or side specials. The Rumic World anniversary specials, which were originally made, they were originally only viewable at like these little pop-up museums celebrating Rumiko Takahashi. You know, I believe it was like her 30th anniversary or something, making works and stuff.
Right.
And like, they made specials, like brand new animation. It was a new team. They made one for Urusei Yatsura, for Ranma, for Inuyasha, and then they later like released those specials on one DVD. And those count as OVAs apparently, despite being a completely separate production and made for a pop-up museum event thing, and only later being distributed via DVDs?
The business is strange and serpentine, because that definitely sounds like it's being, like, meetings are being transferred over from whichever business intern is making the definitions that day.
Yeah. Hell, the term OVA, like, is so, because, like, the term direct-to-video basically no longer applies, because now we're getting, like, original things not released along with a season being released online or via streaming services as a separate thing. Like throughout the 2000s and 2010s, we still got things that were called OVAs, but those were like, some of those were like, here's a bonus thing on the DVD, but some of them weren't. Some of them didn't get any physical releases. So like, what even does that term mean anymore? Some people just use it to mean just, here is a thing that wasn't part of the aired televised seasons, but is still made by the production team as like a separate, like, extra thing. But there are several things that fit that term that aren't counted. And going back to the concept of movies, it just gets weird with this. Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix was released on tape. It had little Doko music videos at the beginning and end, just like the other OVAs. It was, so in Japan, each individual OVA was sold separately. For the international in North America, they put 2 per VHS tape. Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix was paired with another OVA. And then later into 2000s, when they made a DVD containing all of the OVAs, they included all 12, including Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix. It is counted by several things. It is included in the collection and was produced alongside them, but it was also produced to be aired in theaters, so it's in a different aspect ratio. There are just so many caveats as to, like, why does this count as a movie? And at the end of the day, it seems that when it comes to, like, Wikipedia and such, the only answer that matters is, well, this aired at a movie theater, so that's it.
I mean, sometimes that's all you need. I will just note, I did a little search, and the other 2 shorts that accompanied this one was Ghost Sweeper Mikami, and the other one I have never heard of, Heisei Dog Stories, Bo.
Nice! The name Heisei Dog Story sounds familiar to me for some reason. Maybe that's something I've heard of.
It might be something I've seen, like, in an old, like, university-based anime club I used to go to, but it doesn't have any particular point in my memory, so I'd have to individually search it up.
Well, it is good to know. I always appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's always nice to be able to, like, hypothetically, you could recreate this movie theater experience. Because, especially here in the US, like, double features or triple features kind of stopped being a thing. So I never really, like, fully understood that of, like, if you're a fan of, like, an anime that's being included in one of those, do you just watch the other 2 just to, like, see what this is, even if it's something completely unrelated and not to your taste?
I mean, I personally would probably sit through the whole thing, just because, not even just for the verisimilitude, but because it's something I used to do when I would go to anime clubs when those were still a thing.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And I know that that was kind of part of the culture. Like, I've talked in previous episodes of, like, especially in the 90s, where, like, what you watch is just what's on the Blockbuster shelf. And that's kind of it. That's the only option you really had. It didn't matter what genre they are or what style. It's like, well, this is anime and I want to watch more anime.
Actually, I was pretty privileged in that regard.
Ooh.
I was, like, the university that I didn't attend it, but I knew of the club there, so I went to it, and it was open to anyone who even wasn't going to it. But the thing is, they had their own translating and subtitling operation in-house.
Ooh.
Like, the club itself was, like, paying certain members to do that.
Oh,
and so we got to see a lot of stuff that wouldn't get released over here either at all or not for a long time. Like that's how I first got into one of my favorite shows, Legend of Galactic Heroes, for example.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounds cool. I always want to hear, like, more stories of, like, that era, people that were involved in, like, that, and also, like, the distributing of subs and, like, fan-made translations and such. That just sounds like a fun world.
Yeah, this is like late 90s, early aughts kind of thing.
Yeah. And by that point, like, some things have gotten a little easier, and like you can go even further back. Like, there's so many different eras of that. But yeah, see, there's a lot of fun stuff to know, a lot of things to look up, and what if you're just relying on, like, wikis and such, you're not always going to get that necessary information. And even if you do, as exemplified here, sometimes that information is just, well, some guy in 1996 said this because they heard it from someone else at, like, the comic book shop, and they wrote it down, but, like, they couldn't find a tape of the thing, so they just had to assume.
Miami Mike, you know what you did.
Yeah, and, like, decades later, some stuff, people just like, well, the wiki says it, so I'm going to assume it's true. People don't even bother to double check. And if they're like me and notice something like that, they're not going to correct it. I'm not fixing the wiki. And even if I did, things like this are subjective. Like, I bet even if I did change that, there would be arguments to be had of people arguing over the definition of what counts as a movie.
I was thinking, like, more along the lines of, if you have, like, proof of something being wrong, then, yeah, definitely correct the record.
Things like that happen sometimes, but, like, a lot of the times, if I see something I'm tempted to correct on a wiki, it's a thing where I'm like, that's technically not correct. Or, like, this doesn't have anything to do with this. And sometimes you get super exaggerated versions, like the Silent Hill circumcision incident.
Oh.
Sometimes you get those, but most of the time, it's extremely low-stakes stuff that you're like, this isn't worth correcting.
I mean, sometimes it's funny.
Sometimes, yeah.
And you just let it be because it's a fun joke.
Yeah, that is also true. Sometimes I like just seeing weird things of, like, I don't know why someone decided to put this on the trivia section, but okay. But yeah, in addition to Team Ranma and the Legendary Phoenix, I also had you watch, technically 2 other OVAs.
The Reawakening Memories.
Yeah. And I also included that one because it is a 2-parter, and if you put the 2 parts together, they're the same length as the theatrical movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and we'll get more to that one in a bit, but I'm like, when you think of, like, if I were to just, say someone read the manga, and they read these 2 stories in the manga, and I asked, which of these 2 do you think got turned into a movie? I bet I could confuse a lot of people.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, those are the stories we're covering. Technically, it's 2 of them, but one of them was 2 separate VHS tape releases, which got combined into one. Hell, in the US, if you bought the tape, it was impossible to get them separately.
Oh.
Make it feel even more like a movie.
I think I might have actually gotten like one of those season boxes that had, I don't know if it had this OVA. I know it had the one with Sontendo's supposed infidelity.
Yeah, that one. Which was also a two-parter.
Yes.
So, like, the arbitrary definitions of, like, well, what counts as a movie, and, like, I guess to some people, the only thing that matters is, well, what aspect ratio is it? Your experience watching these at home is going to be the same, but you can look at one of these and be like, well, this one was made for a movie theater screen specifically.
I'm going to say that my definition is, what did the production company call it?
Yeah. Oh, that also gets into weird things, where, like, what about stuff that gets reprinted? Because, again, Team Ranma and the Legendary Phoenix was included with the other OVAs when released on VHS tape and then later again on DVD. It was part of the OVA collection. And just, yeah, it's interesting. Because to some people, all this time, they're just used to calling it the third movie. If you say the third movie, most people will know what you're talking about because, well, what else are you going to call that? I
mean, it is in the same vein as saying the Pickles movie.
Yeah. People just know which one you're talking about. It doesn't matter how accurate it is, because what else are you going to be talking about? What other Pickles movies are there in the Ranma series?
Yeah, perhaps the one where they cross over with Rugrats universe.
There's probably some overlap somewhere in there. I don't know when Rugrats started, but yeah, I suppose we could start with these two non-films that could be argued as films depending on who you're asking, and that definition will probably upset somebody on the internet.
I mean, if we want to get real technical, it seems to have upset you for 25 minutes worth of recording.
It has. It has. It bothers me so much.
All right.
I think the part that bothers me the most is the live-action film not being included in the movie section.
Well, I mean, that appears to usually be the case when it comes to live-action versions of an anime. Like, you don't really see G Savior being listed amongst the Gundam movies because it's a weird live-action movie from United States, I think. But, like, yeah, no, it's definitely a Gundam movie. I've seen it. But they didn't have the confidence to call it a Gundam movie at the time.
Yeah, but, like, the live-action movie is included in the same Wikipedia section as, like, here is a tape that Kitty Films released that is just, here are the Doko music videos. Here is one that is just a preview for the movie, and it has 0 unique animation, but that counts as a special alongside the live-action movie.
Okay. Well, special is different from OVA, I will say.
Yeah.
It's usually, I mean, it is usually referred to as omake in one form or another. And I think that does get translated as special rather than extra.
Yeah. And there are other inconsistencies if you expand to other series of, like, well, what counts as a special? What doesn't? What counts as... Don't even get me started on DigiCarrot. So many things on that just listed as specials. And I'm like, what do you mean? You just split the season up into, like, 8 different chunks and called them all specials.
You just unlocked a Proustian reverie for a moment.
But yes, whatever we want to call these, I picked 2. And yes, less than half an hour in, and I've already said everything I need to say about why I put these 2 together. Now it's just like, well, now I guess we just gotta talk about these now. That was it. That was the only thing I wanted to say.
I mean, it works as well as anything. Might as well use some flimsy twine. Why not?
Yeah. Grab bags need to have some sort of theme. I guess we could start with, the one that is most known. Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix.
I will say, I don't have much to say about the opening theme, except that it is sort of, at least from my perspective, a rare Nabiki, like, centric opening.
Yeah.
I don't know how rare that is, but, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty much the OVAs, or at least half of them, had the little Doko music videos, and like some of them feel more like music videos, others feel more like they were trying to make like an anime style intro. This one is definitely like, no, this is a music video. This doesn't feel like this is meant to be an intro to the Ranma anime. This is just, well, we have like 12 of these. Just have a bunch of Nabiki in there. It has nothing to do with the episode, but like, how one of these is gonna have the Christmas outro that has nothing to do with the episode.
Wow. I didn't see that one, but yeah.
Yeah, one of the Reawakened Memories OAVs, the outro is just the Christmas song from the Doko album.
I did not see that in my copy.
Did you watch like the Japanese version or like an English dub version, or where?
Oh, I watched the dub version.
Okay, yeah. The dub releases, they just kind of translated two, like one intro and one outro, and they just put those on all of them instead of doing it for each individual music video.
Oh, makes sense, yeah.
In the original release, they all had a unique intro and outro, so if you saw the same one twice, that's a dub exclusive thing. They just didn't bother. And some of them, they only replace the audio, so it's the visuals of one of the themes, but it uses the song from the one that they translated into English. But yeah, this is the one that has the Nabiki intro, which if you're a fan of that, that's cool.
I mean, it was a nice change up from the usual of like concentrating on the actual main characters, but yeah. Yeah, there's some weird ones when you look into the Doko stuff, but yeah, this is Team Ranma versus the Legendary Phoenix. Now, before we cover the animated version, I want to briefly go over the fact that, so, as I said, there might be some confusion if someone just reads the manga and then later finds out which things were adapted how. Because in the manga version, this story was 2 chapters. I can see that.
The first chapter is adapted like 1-to-1. And then the second chapter is like, they took like vague parts of that and then made pretty much an entirely unique second half of the animated version. There are a couple of jokes that got cut or replaced with like new plot points to make it feel more fleshed out. Cause I'm gonna be honest, there wasn't enough here for even a 30-minute movie. Was kind of stretching it.
I'm guessing the second chapter started right around when Kuno and Ranma started bunking.
Yeah. I guess, like, I'll tell you the exact moment the manga pacing goes. Because, again, the first chapter adapted pretty directly. It's pretty much the introduction where Kuno has purchased a weird phoenix egg from this antique store. And he was told the only thing you can't do is put it on your head. Don't do that.
I mean, that right there is a Manchurian Candidate activation phrase in this universe.
Yeah. So, of course, within seconds, it ends up on his head. And it is entirely Ranma's fault, but, like, how could Ranma have known?
Oh, yeah.
And then it hatches, and now he just has this little phoenix baby on his head. A very magnificent looking phoenix baby. I love this bird.
A majestic fat bird.
It looks so wonderful. It is just a dumb little fat bird, but he's so great.
I do just want to mention one favorite part. Actually, two favorite parts from just before this. One thing that I think I was a little bit underprepared for, despite having watched the most of the show before, is just how much the gag a minute structure is.
Yeah.
Like, even gag a second thing. Like, the part where Kuno's, like, raising his like, boken up with a flaming background at the mere thought of, like, defeating Ranma or whatever. And then you switch back to reality and little Sasuke is, like, holding up a piece of cardboard with fire painted on it.
Yeah.
Just, or, like, Even if you slapped me with a wad of bills, I would never sell it.
Yes.
Just immediate. Oh, that's a lot of money you just slapped me with.
So good they brought it back.
So good they did it twice. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, it laid an egg. And just immediately slaps him with it.
The joke where like he buys the egg and we get the title card, then we get Kuno walking home, and then we get the flashback to the warning, do not put it on your head, and then again snap to reality, and the shopkeeper is just standing on top of him with a mega horn, just repeating the instructions.
Or just how the egg itself is hatching like it's the Ark of the Covenant, just everyone is bathed in light.
Yes, it is a phoenix. But yeah, let this be a record to anyone who listens to this podcast and doesn't actually watch these things. Dad has a point. A lot of these just have like a joke per second, just really fast paced. There are so many things that like can't be covered in a single recap. There's always stuff to find if you revisit them, even if you know what's going to happen.
It was actually a bit of a shock to see how few jokes per second or jokes per minute there were in the reawakening memories.
Yeah, that one is you know what? Almost like a movie. You could say that one's trying to be taken way more seriously.
Yes. I mean, I would definitely refer to Reawakening Memories as more of a movie than this one. This one just feels like a longer episode. Yeah,
it is like 6 minutes longer than your average televised episode, but is otherwise just an episode with way more animation budget. So yeah, we got this phoenix. It is stuck on Kuno's head, and
it immediately hates Ranma. I think because Ranma insults it.
Yeah, so another funny joke where he's like, well, I bid you adieu, and then the phoenix won't let him leave because it wants to attack Ranma, and he's like, I said adieu.
I mean, it's not even it's not even a threat at this point. It's just like,
yeah, it is just a bird. It is just repeatedly pecking at Ranma and refuses to leave. Kuno is trying to walk away and he can't because the bird hates Ranma. And then the very next scene, they go to the Tendo house because Kuno can't leave. He is now stuck to Ranma. And they then explain that, okay, so the phoenix, it's a bird. It has imprinted onto Ranma, except unlike usual imprinting, when a phoenix imprints, you are its mortal enemy and it will only pay attention to you. Its sole purpose is to attack you, and that is it.
I would like to make a quick note before they get to the imprinting thing. Like, I think it's, I don't know who says it, but someone suggests that maybe it loves him. And I think that says a lot about this family.
Yes, that's their first assumption. Clearly the bird is in love with Ranma. Why else would it be repeatedly attacking him? But yes, they are now stuck with this bird, and they can't leave. And that's the first chapter of the manga. Already we have covered one chapter of this story.
Actually, there is one more joke I want to mention about this particular scene. The thing where, okay, you know that joke where you say a word and then someone else says a different definition of a word that sounds similar? They're doing that thing with Son, Genma, and Kasumi are doing that specifically with imprinting and doing things like impersonation. And it's a weird side gag that doesn't come to anything except, like, I think they call it back, like, in a few minutes. It hit me as just being, like, so off the rail that I just had to laugh.
Yeah, that whole section of, like, the dads and Kasumi, which they even, like, they do a thing where, like, Son and Kasumi in front of, like, a microphone, like, with this little stand-up routine.
Exactly, yeah.
But, like, that whole section is, like, it's one of those things where you can feel, where I'm like, there are so many Japanese puns that I am missing.
Oh, yes.
Somebody had to translate these into absolute nonsense, but I could feel it. I could feel what this stand-up routine is meant to be in the original language.
It does help that they put it into, like, pictures as well, so.
Yeah, which sometimes that can help, sometimes that can make translating it even worse.
True. Very true.
You did link another thing. This is one of the first like proper changes in the manga. You once linked the image of Kuno picking up Akane.
Oh yeah, the thing where Kuno under the armpit and grabbing her boob.
Yes.
Because why not?
And then I compared that to the manga version, where not only is he touching her shoulder, instead he even puts on like a little tuxedo.
Mm-hmm.
I also appreciate that in the manga version, she is still holding her bowl of rice and looks more annoyed and confused than straight up angry. I just find that way more comedic.
Oh yeah, no, the boob grab is happening, and she is very angry in this. And yeah, no, the manga version would have been better to transfer into the movie. But on the other hand, as you mentioned, the animators seem to have a thing for boobs.
Yes.
Just in general. It's also very well noted in the second episode of Reawakening Memories.
Yes, there is a section there. I will bring that up. But yeah, this is basically the first half of the arc in the manga. Now, I will very briefly go over the entire rest of the arc in the second chapter. So, like, the first chapter ends, they're told, oh no, the bird has imprinted onto Ranma, Kuno can't leave. Second chapter starts. It is the next morning. Kuno is training at the Tendo Dojo, because I guess he just lives there now. Ranma shows up and is like, alright, I've been training all night for this. I know how to beat the Phoenix. I'll use his natural predator, the snake style, and then he immediately loses. Like, we don't even get to see what this snake style is. He just instantly loses.
I mean, that is the power of the Phoenix Blade. You have a very specific enemy, and it is invincible against you.
Yeah, and it also knows the solar flare, which is the real problem, is that, like, Ranma can't handle the Phoenix and also Kuno swinging his sword at the same time. But yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Ranma attempts this new style, it fails. That entire little, like, 2-page subplot is not even in the animated version.
And it should have been.
Yeah, it's a cute little joke, but after that, the antique salesman shows up, and they do the joke of, like, who is this man and why is he in our house? And he then reveals that, okay, the bird will leave once it is fully grown, which will happen in like 100 years, but don't worry, because I have Phoenix growth formula. And then he pulls out like a little bag of dog kibble with a picture of a bird on it.
I will say, so I think what they did do with that first gag that they cut, I think they actually replaced it with the bit with, why can't I, the great Kuno, not have the pigtail girl and Akane?
Yeah, like I said, this second chapter, they took elements from it and basically made new jokes and stuff out of it. It's not a one-to-one translation, because we just get this whole snake-style bit, then the salesman shows up, and then he sells them a bag of bird food, and then Ranma's like, okay, I just gotta feed it, and then he basically has to fight Kuno, because Kuno's like, no, get that out of the way, get it away, no, leave my bird alone. And then they're just having a little fight in the backyard. Chaos ensues. The bird starts growing the more it eats, thus making it harder for Ranma to feed it even more. Eventually, large chunks of the backyard get destroyed. Then we cut forward to next page. Ranma's showing the bag is empty. He's like, all right, I'm all out. Next panel, Kuno has like this like 500-pound bird on top of his head. And Ranma's just like, doesn't that hurt your neck? And Kuno's like, no, I'm fine. Let's keep fighting. Shut up. And then the bird just squawks and leaves. And he's like, no, come back. Ah, dang it. And they're like, well, that solves that problem. We fed the bird and now it is gone. And then they notice an extra egg on the ground. The salesman is like, well, clearly I have to seal this away. And this is one of the jokes they did keep in the animated version. I have to lock this up so nobody else can find it. Next panel, Kuno's slapping him with another wad of bills. Sold.
I mean, he initially did just want the egg.
Yes.
He just wanted the egg because he's a rich dumb boy. And
yeah, he went to an antique shop. He's just, as far as he was aware, he went into the shop to buy some furniture for his room. Nothing fancy. He just happened to find a magic bird egg somehow.
So yeah, no, that manga version is definitely different from the animated.
Yes.
In that, like, it doesn't go into the whole thing of, like, we need to cook that. We need to, like, have people make this food.
Yeah, in the animated version, he just sells them the recipe. Whereas in the classic, like, the joke is it's an antique salesman, and I have the solution, and it's his little, like, doggy bag.
Here's some bird food.
Of bird food. It's very goofy. So again, elements have been incorporated into the animated version, but it is clearly, like, pretty practically an entirely different story that is just loosely inspired by the events of that second chapter.
At the very least, we did get Shampoo and Ukyo on screen at the same time.
Yeah, the OAVs in general love to just insert characters that weren't present in the manga version, because why not?
Oh yeah. We had the voice actors in studio. Why not?
Yeah. So, like, that's the manga version. And it's, like, a little under halfway through the animated version, so there's still a lot left in that one. The next scene in that version is the bath scene, which, I don't know about your notes, there are so many details in that one scene that I just can't get out of my head. There are so many things of note in these, just like a couple of minutes. I'm not sure if, like, you had anything particularly of note during that segment that stood out to you, but I had several.
I did, well, I think I made a comparison at some point to, like, oh, don't worry, the imprint will fade when it matures. In 100 years. Or you can use this pill recipe. It has it sort of felt like the Frogurt with sprinkles bit from the Simpsons Halloween special.
Yes. Don't worry, the Phoenix will leave. That's good.
In 100 years.
That's bad. But you can feed it a special growth recipe to make it leave faster. That's good, but you have to make the recipe first. Oh, that's bad.
And Ranma's only objection to making the pills being, Akane can't cook.
Yeah, it is funny. Skipping ahead a little bit, you did mention, like, they bring in Ukyo and Shampoo, and that's sort of a thing where, like, poor Sasuke, he's not in the manga, so they have to come up with new reasons to make him plot relevant. And in here, their decision was to have Sasuke come to the conclusion, this family is full of idiots. They are not going to make this food properly, but thankfully, Ranma is engaged to not one, but two chefs that could do it instead.
Yes, he's a devious little soul. And I just want to make sure that anyone listening is not picturing in their mind the character from Naruto, but rather a small little man who has, like, a ninja costume on.
Yes. Sasuke is pretty dopey.
He's not hot in the slightest.
But yeah, I also like how, like, he goes to the other fiancés, and he's like, of course, I should have known from the girl who is truly meant to be with Ranma. He's lucky to have a fiancé like you taking care of this problem. Cut to him going to Shampoo. Oh yeah, man, Ranma is so lucky that you're on this. As the girl who is meant to marry him, I understand why he would pick you over the others.
Silver-tongued little devil.
To make sure that somebody makes this recipe. 'Cause Akane can't cook. The dads can't cook. They don't even bother to give an explanation for why Kasumi can't. She just does it.
I just assume that she's still doing the improvisation bit with Sona and Genma.
I like to imagine she saw Akane try it, and she's just, like, waving little pom-poms, like, you can do it, yeah!
And Nabiki's never getting near a cooking pot, no way.
Ranma can cook, that is confirmed, but, I don't know, I guess he doesn't want to either. Again, Sasuke cannot rely on this family. His master is trapped with this bird. He is the only sane person trying to actually resolve this problem, so he goes to do some sneaky things to get more people involved. But that's that section. I want to talk about the bath scene before we get to that, because at the end of that scene is when...
Oh, right.
Again, they do the joke where the salesman comes in, and it's just like, why is he in our house? He's just here. He literally just opens the window to the bath and starts talking to them as if he was always there. But prior to that, let me go through some of these events in order. This isn't even the full scene, but I'm just going to get a couple of them out the way. So, after it's revealed that they're stuck with this bird, we then cut to Ranma, in girl form, entering the bath, because earlier, like, he tried turning into a girl to trick the Phoenix, but the Phoenix can still tell it's him. So that didn't work. So now girl Ranma is going into the bath. Pichon follows her. And Ranma does not react to this. Ranma is just undressing and complaining about the bird, while Ryoga is also entering the bath.
There is one thing that I rather like to note about that particular scene. Just, it was actually kind of interesting to see. Not sure if interesting is the right word, but like, it was compelling to see Ranma aggressively undressing during this scene. It was weird.
Oh, yes, Ranma isn't just undressing, Ranma is annoyed. Ranma is, like, aggressively tossing clothes on the floor, very clearly upset. Again, not acknowledging Pichon, but Ryoga does go into the bath with Ranma. Then Kuno appears, and then there's a thing I had to rewind to confirm. I'm like, wait, so I think Ryoga is, like, freaking out because somebody barged into the bath, that he's worried it might be Akane, because in response to Kuno barging in, Ryoga then jumps into Ranma's naked arms, right straight into Ranma's titties. Ranma, who is also shocked by the barging in, accidentally knocks Ryoga into the bath. Then we get the whole segment where, like, the bird is attacking Ranma, and Kuno is like, well, clearly the only solution is we're gonna have to take a bath together. And then he picks up Ranma, and this visual stuck with me of just Ranma being carried in this little dainty. Ranma is kicking his legs helplessly.
Yes, I remember that.
I love the whininess to this. Like it's not just like go get him, Ryoga. It's like Whitey's like, Ryoga, do something. Help! Which is, like, maybe the most helpless we ever see Ranma. But then naked Ryoga pops out of the bath, hits Kuno, and then Ranma splashes himself with hot water, and the two start to talk strategy about this bird.
Yes. And then everyone go see the nude boys in the tub.
Yes, then everybody else walks in, and Akane is the only person bothering to cover her eyes. Everyone else is just like, here are these two naked boys, but we're just gonna talk to them like it's normal. And again, it elevates when even the antique salesman also barges in.
I mean, to be fair, it is actually kind of normal for this family.
Yes. It's just, it is funny to only see Akane. Akane's the only one who is even remotely embarrassed by this. Everyone is just meeting up in the bath to talk strategy. But the thing that stuck with me the most in all this is this scene implying that Ranma and Ryoga just regularly take baths together? Is this just how they always bathe?
I think so.
Ryoga's gotta bathe at some point, but obviously he can't do that around anyone else.
I mean, actually, no, I think that his only, the only, thing stopping him from bathing with anyone else is specifically to Akane, because she's the only one that doesn't know.
Presumably.
Like, everyone else just kind of cottons on and don't. I'm pretty certain it's only Akane who doesn't know that Ryoga is Pichon, and everyone's just like, let's not worry about it.
We've talked on the show before about the joke where, like, Pichon jumps in while Son is bathing. But also, given Son's personality, you'd think he would say something about this teenage boy sleeping with his daughter in pig form. It just never comes up, and nobody else ever acknowledges it.
It's part of the comedy of the universe.
Yeah, but also in this scene, nobody thinks it's weird that Ryoga is suddenly in their house in the bath with Ranma. Everyone just shows up to talk strategy, and Ryoga is just here. So this scene also kind of makes it sound like the family knows, or at least they don't think it's weird for Ranma to just suddenly be taking a bath with Ryoga. Just the way that everyone treats this as normal, I kind of love, because there are no other scenes like this that imply this sort of, like, domestic life where Pichon will just follow Ranma into the bath and then come out later like nobody questions it.
I actually have a theory about that specifically.
Yeah.
I think it's just that it's not so much that they think it's normal that Ryoga will just appear out of nowhere. They're used to the fact that he does just come into their lives at random and leave at random because he has the famously worst sense of direction in the world.
Yeah. He just somehow wound up in their bath.
Yeah, he just winds up in their bath because he was going as the crow flies due to some random farmer's directions, and he wound up charging into the bath and having a strategy session with Ranma over something he has no knowledge of.
Yeah. So I guess technically, again, this scene is the most we explore this, and even this doesn't confirm one way or another if everybody knows about Pichon. But either way, the fact that, like, Ranma doesn't even acknowledge Pichon following him into the bath is like, and again, the little leg kicks. I just think it's adorable to demonstrate this level of trust in Ryoga. Ranma is being bothered. Ranma isn't trying to fight off Kuno by himself. He's just like, Ryoga, do something. Help.
I mean, it is by this point noticed that the bird only protects Kuno against Ranma, as evidenced by when Kuno, like, picked up Akane and Akane, like, hit him in the head, he just, like, immediately folded like a lawn chair.
Yeah, and, like, that could be the reason. But also, just, like, even in that specific context, Ranma asking anybody for help in any circumstances is rare enough that I cannot help but notice this cute little dainty leg kicky motion as Ranma begs to be saved. It's the most, like, damsel in distress he comes across as. Just like, help.
It is very cute, but yeah, no, I do think it is just because he knows that even in girl form, the bird will protect Kuno, and he absolutely needs someone else to get Kuno to stop.
He needs someone else to hit him in the head, and Ryoga is there. That's honestly,
yes.
I feel like that's the only reason.
The actual reason. Yeah.
They wrote it this way. I don't think whoever wrote this intended to imply anything by having them go in the bath together. They're just like, well, somebody has to attack Kuno because the plot dictates Ranma cannot fight the Phoenix. That's the whole point. So who else would be in the bath with Ranma? How else are we going to get to see Ranma titties unless we have a bath scene that wasn't in the manga? We need to have something here. So I don't think they thought too hard about it, but it did give us some visuals that, like I said, they're going to stick with me.
So yeah, something did just occur to me. They keep accidentally into, like, queer themes, just like they didn't really mean to make, like, the whole show as into a trans allegory. They keep making, like, gay themes as well between the boys and the girls.
Yeah, definitely.
Mostly the boys, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's like, there are some parts where I'm like, well, they clearly didn't think this through. They weren't trying to do it, but they did, so I'll take it. And then there are sometimes rare ones where I'm just like, I think somebody knew what they were doing. I think they knew. Oh
yeah, no, there's always at least someone on staff doing that, but yeah. This
particular case, like, I will believe this as just, like, someone just wanted to justify a scene with more nudity in it. We're not on TV anymore. We can get away with more stuff.
And Moose isn't as popular as Ryoga.
Yeah. It would have been really funny for them to try and come up with an explanation for why Moose is in the bath.
Well, he's a bird half the time, so he knows about bird things.
True. They didn't drag him into this, which I think is interesting, but yeah. Also, one last thing to shout. The series, depending on who's in charge of animating and storyboarding, they will find different ways to depict the transformations. Like, I think the most common is just the water pours over them and covers up the character, and it just gets model swapped, basically.
Yeah.
But there are times where, like, there'll be a puff of smoke, or they'll glow, or something like that. This special, I think, is the only one that, like, does it Animorph style, where we see the characters gradually morph from one shape to the other.
I will say, in the first bit of, like, or in, like, the first episode of Reawakening Memories, they do exactly that with Ranma. Like, yeah, like, when he's knocked into the pond, like, during the post, opening theme bit, it's raining, so on his way to the pond, he, like, immediately changes in a very smooth transition, just like, whoop,
yeah,
right into girl during the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
In midair. And that was notable enough to, like, make note of, I guess.
Yeah. But, like, on that note, in Reawakened Memories, there is one gag at one point where Rama splashes Ryoga, and, like, Ryoga just, like, instantly, like, frame one, he is replaced with a pig, his clothes are still floating midair, and then they fall, like,
yes,
Wile E. Coyote style. And that's just instantaneous. But in this one, with the Phoenix fight later on, there will be moments where, like, they keep transforming back and forth. You can very clearly see there are a couple of frames where Ryoga is this weird, like, pig man, like, abomination, where he kind of looks like Pichon, but with human legs, and the clothes are kind of midway through
because of
falling
the hot springs or whatever it is, like the bathhouse getting smashed open and the hot and cold water spraying everywhere.
Yeah.
That was a really good sequence.
Yes. I suppose, yeah, we will get to that soon, but, like, yes, after the bath, after that, the next new plot, like I said, Sasuke's going around getting more characters involved, and they also kick out Ranma and Kuno, just like, we need to sleep, you two deal with this somewhere else, just find a tent somewhere. The usual solution when something like this happens is just make Ranma sleep outside. We don't want to deal with this.
And I really liked the gag they did for this, specifically how they're camping in what looks like no man's land with razor wire.
Yes, the little...
You are banished until this is resolved.
I don't know how common it is for these, like, empty plots of land to have razor wire covering the fences, but, like, yes, this is very much, this is the one spot in the neighborhood they could sleep in.
I mean, it's the designated fight zone.
Yes.
It's no man's land.
But yes, next morning, we then get yet another new plot, where in this version, they decide to make it so that the Phoenix imprints with a different person every time it wakes up.
And now it's imprinted on Akane.
Yes, Akane goes to deliver the breakfast, and also she made the Phoenix food, but now the Phoenix is attacking her. And this is where things rapidly escalate, and where we get some really sick-ass animation. Yeah,
the city's roof repair budget gets a little strained.
Yes. Like I said, in the manga version, the Phoenix, like, destroys parts of the dojo wall, but that's about it. Then it just flies away. In this version, by the end of this sequence, it is, like, destroyed almost the entire neighborhood.
Yeah, you can tell this is the section where a lot of the animation budget went.
Yes, they went nuts with this whole segment.
They flexed a lot.
Yeah, now the bird's attacking Akane. Then Shampoo and Ukyo show up. Then pure chaos as, like, okay, we got the food, we gotta feed it. And it rapidly escalates to, well, this bird just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's causing more destruction, way more than in the manga version. And by the end, everyone is joining in. We got these characters, we're gonna use them. Like, Ukyo does some sick spatula throws. There's a really cute part. I have seen a lot of people. I've seen it in a lot of posts. Whenever I research something, I will see like an old Twitter post or a Reddit post bring up this one moment where Akane is falling to her death and Shampoo saves her.
Yes.
Like she does like a baseball slide to catch Akane mid-air. And a lot of people like to point that out of like, oh, that's neat. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it then ends with the joke where Shampoo then calls Akane fat. But like, before she makes that joke, Akane looks very happy. She's like, thanks, Shampoo. She's genuinely happy that her friend saved her. This is a cute moment.
Yeah.
Another moment in there, at one point, the dads, after like multiple buildings are destroyed, they're like, all right, we've stood by long enough. We have to take responsibility. Let's do this. And they immediately get blown away.
Just immediately, immediate fail state.
But like, yes, pure chaos as this is called Team Ranma versus the legendary Phoenix. Unlike in the manga where it's just Ranma fighting Kuno, it's everybody versus the Phoenix. Even Kuno.
Oh, yes.
Because like I said, in the manga version, Kuno is like, again, he's got the big, like, bird on his head, but he's like, no, I'm still good, I can still fight. And then he gets upset when the bird flies away. Whereas in the animated version, no, Kuno also wants the bird to leave.
Well, yes, but I mean, like, in his defense, by the end of it, he is literally just a vestigial limb.
Yes, he gets turned into a Goomba.
Yeah, on the bottom of this, like, truly massive bird that is displacing all of the air around it.
The Phoenix is a Beanie Baby, and Kuno is the tag attached to it, just dangling off the edge.
Yes, absolutely.
But, like, yes, the whole Team Ranma, everybody gets involved in fighting this Phoenix, and they go all out with the animation. Until eventually they feed the bird enough that it just glows and flies away, like with the manga, and then we get the same ending. Oh, this one has the added detail of Kasumi just happily waving goodbye.
Yes.
In the middle of the wreckage.
Glows, flies away after a satisfied belch.
Yes. It's been fed, now it can leave, and we just get, bye, birdie! Some real like Sonic adventure, like the city's destroyed and Tails is like, all's well that ends well. Yeah,
actually, the thing with Kasumi, just being the eternal sweet airhead, saying bye bye birdie. I just really like that Nabiki's there. Just hey, why are you doing that? And then just eventually just reluctantly joins in and waves as well.
Yeah, she's just like, whatever, just also waves goodbye. While everyone else is just standing in the wreckage, and then we get the same final joke of, there's another egg here, and then Kuno slaps the guy with another wad of bills to get that one.
Oh, yeah, no, that was great.
And that's the end of that story. That's the end of that movie.
I will say that for the ending theme, I did actually really like the papercraft to animation transitions that they did in this. That was the one that they did for Shampoo's portrait in this. It was just,
yes!
It was very nice.
Those, yeah, where they have like a little almost like sort of watercolor, not watercolor, but like,
they did a few. Yeah, they did a few different effects, but the papercraft was the one that I particularly latched on to.
Yeah, and then it like transitions to the cell animated style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another fun one. But yeah, so that's one movie, and now we move on to the next. So the thing I want to say with Reawakened Memories, first of all, what's your general opinion on this story in general?
I will say one thing, the jokes per minute ratio has gone way down. I think even taking into effect, it's like expanded to like greater size than the previous one. It's still, the ratio is still way down to the point that it actually does feel more like they're trying to take it seriously as a movie.
Yes.
And I didn't mind it either. It had its own pacing that it quickly like undermined every now and then with the monster trap gag that only affects humans, apparently.
Yes, that's one of the few, like, jokes that they get snuck in there. That, honestly, that joke feels like it's been too long since we put in a joke, have someone fall in a trap. just doesn't matter. The more we do it, the funnier it's gonna be. It's like Sideshow Bob with the rakes.
Yes. Although I did make the observation that it seems like they only make the traps affect the designated dumb boys.
That is, okay, what I love about that joke, so I think it's funnier in the manga version because being in a comic format, the jump from, like, one panel, a character is just talking and standing normally, then the next panel, they are suddenly in a pit trap with rocks falling on their head. Just the instantaneous transition to me is way funnier than you could do by, like, actually animating them falling in and the rocks tumbling. It's just funnier when it's a static image to me. But even the animated version also sometimes adds things that you could only do with animation. There are a couple of times where they cut away mid rocks falling. Like Ryoga will get rocks falling and he'll be screaming, and then it will cut off. And that is also pretty funny.
The perfectly cut off scream, yeah.
Yes, that will always get me. But yeah, this story, it could be called a number of things. It's been called, Reawakened Memories is the name of the I guess I'll call it the movie version. People call it the Ryu Gonzawa arc, the Shinosuke arc, but whatever it is, this is one of the most dramatic Ranma stories, period. Like, in the sense of, like, drama. Not, like, over the top, but, like, actually, like, no, you're meant to take this seriously. And even in terms of, like, the art, the way certain things get drawn, the expressions, Akane in particular, I notice in the manga version, she's drawn way more expressively.
Yeah, you're right.
Because some of the chapters even have, like, a little, like, watercolor, like she drew it in watercolor, like this is a special color page, but it's still black and white because it got scanned in that way. Like, some of them still have that, like, the scene where Akane's in the bath is in that style, and her face will look more detailed. This is like, no, you're supposed to take this seriously. Akane looks beautiful in that panel. Yeah,
they really do. They really outdo themselves on the animation of her specifically.
Yeah, and like not even in the like, ooh, Akane's naked sort of thing. It's like, no, it's like it's like Rumiko Takahashi is like treating her like the Venus de Milo. Like, Akane is naked, and this is a beautiful thing. This is one of her like best drawn panels as Akane is getting out, because this is a serious story.
Oh yes.
Even later arcs, they're serious in like a shonen action sense of like, here is a new enemy, he's gonna kill everyone, we need to stop him. The stakes are higher. It's more dramatic and serious in the sense that like, there's a serious problem we need to address. But like, this arc, the stakes are almost entirely like personal. It is way more like soap opera-y and dramatic in how it presents its narrative. It is, like I said, this is one of the most dramatic Ranma stories, period.
I mean, even the colors seem a little bit more muted or desaturated from other episodes.
Yeah, this feels like it could be an anime exclusive movie. If you didn't read the manga and were just shown stories, like, yeah, this feels like an anime movie. And in addition to that, I was kind of surprised when I reread the manga version, because I'm like, most of the events are the same, except the animated version combines a lot of scenes together for a much quicker pace.
Oh, really? I mean, they do need to get through like 20 chapters in 2 episodes.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much they had to compress. Where even with even as a 2-parter, like, this could have been a 3-parter. That's how much they had to compress it. Like, the first chapter of the manga version is only like 4 minutes of on-screen animation. The intro is a lot more quick, fast-paced, so that we can get to Rie Gonzawa as soon as possible. Cause the first chapter is pretty much just the morning of, and ends with Akane arriving at Ryuganzawa. Whereas in the animated version, that happens like almost immediately.
It's not immediately, but yeah, like...
Yeah, but like a good example of like what I mean when I say they combined a lot of things. A lot of the stuff is adapted, but like they combine it in a way that they can be more time efficient. So in the manga version, the chapter starts, Akane is having a dream about Ryuganzawa. She doesn't know that's what the dream is. She just had a weird dream. Then later in the day, she's making food. She made curry, and this is a thing that just got cut altogether, where the food is way more prominent in the manga version. It is like a major theme that I didn't really notice.
I mean, it's still very prominent in the animated version.
Yeah,
it's just
it is.
Not as.
Yeah. In the manga version, it opens with like the little bit where like Akane, she made curry, and then she tries it, and she's like, "It's fine. I did it. I made normal food. I did it, guys. Everybody, try this out. Try it out." And like, then we get like the joke of like the dads hiding under the table, and Ranma also tries to hide, and they just kick him out in front of the hallway, and Akane's like, "Ranma, try this." Like everyone is trying to avoid her. And Ranma making excuses to not eat the food. Akane is upset. I did not time this, but the previous episode of this podcast, we talked about the one filler episode that pretty much does this exact same plot. Except in that one...
Oh, really?
It's a lot more serious. It's like Akane is genuinely offended because it was like an anniversary meal that Ranma didn't want to eat, and she runs away from home. In this story of the manga, they assume that that's what happened. When Akane leaves, everyone assumes it's because Ranma wouldn't eat her curry. Like, they try the curry, and it's like, oh wait, this is actually fine. She must have really wanted us to eat it.
Oh, is that why they came to the conclusion that she had run away, despite like the note immediately saying, "I've gone to Ryuganzawa.
Yeah,
I'll be back."
So going back to that, so the manga has this whole section of the first chapter with this curry. Akane's annoyed, but whatever. No one's here to eat her food. She just sits down, upset, turns on the TV. Then she sees the special on TV talking about Ryuganzawa. In the animated version, this is literally the first thing that the episode starts with. Is this, like, it's just already on TV. The whole family is watching it together. And Ranma kind of makes fun of her. So later on, when she leaves, they assume that she got upset because he made fun of her.
I do want to make note of, it is kind of, it is actually rather funny that the boy who is victim of a supernatural curse saying, monsters aren't real, is, very funny.
Yes, that is funny. And also an anime invention, because in the manga version, Akane sees the TV special alone. That's the whole point. The whole family is hiding from her because they don't want to eat the food. And then she sees it. She sees Ryuganzawa and is like, "I know that place." Huh. And then they get the phone call because, once again, this is just Son's job, apparently, of just call the local martial artists if you need someone to deal with monsters or whatever.
Oh, is that what that phone call was about?
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, in fact, Akane gets the phone call. They're calling because this is just a thing they do sometimes in the series. If there's a problem, call the Tendo family. And hey, there are monsters here. Come to Ryuganzawa. And at this point, Akane has had the dream. She saw the special. She got the phone call. She has all these things telling her. Like, she starts to think that the dream was some kind of premonition. She had that dream for a reason. Something terrible is happening at Ryuganzawa. I need to go there. I can't fully remember it, but I need to go there. And so she leaves, and she leaves the note, but again, everyone sees it. She's gone. They didn't see the special. They don't know why Akane left. They just think she was upset about the curry thing. So Ranma goes after her.
Right.
And the manga even has, like, the final page is Akane at, like, taking the train to Ryuganzawa just be like, yep, this is just part of being a martial artist. This is just part of the job. Just to remind the audience that this is a thing they do sometimes. Which the anime version didn't remind us.
That actually makes my next note, the next part that I made a note about more, it makes more sense. Because, like, when she gets to Ryokanzawa, you're met with these, like, local yokels who look like they've been beat up, and I made the assumption, because I didn't really realize that they had called her, I made the assumption that she had to, like, that they accosted her and she had to beat them up before they would give her directions to the monster forest.
No, no, those are the people that called for help. We need a professional to deal with this monster situation.
So it turns out their heads just do that. Okay.
Yeah, they just do that.
It looked like they had, like, it looked like they had the cartoon hammer bumps.
Yeah, no, I think they did. I just think the implication is that they've been attacked by monsters.
Oh.
And that's why they're calling martial artists. Because, well, we can't fight this giant platypus. Gotta get someone else to deal with it.
That does make more sense, yes.
But yeah, that's the first chapter of the manga version, compared to in the animated version. Again, first second, the TV is already on. It is talking about Ryokanzawa. Akane reacts to it. Then we get the whole backstory of where she was lost there as a child. Then she gets the phone call. Then she leaves.
Yeah, she does dig out the MacGuffin of the arc, though.
Yeah, also that. But, like, all of that happens in 4 to 5 minutes. Way more fast-paced. She is at Ryokanzawa very quickly. Which, again, 5 minutes, that's still plenty of time. They do a lot of exposition in that time. But, like, you could see how much that first chapter has been compressed. So many things got taken out or combined. Like, instead of having a dream, she just sees it on TV, and then she has the flashback.
She does have the dream, though. In the part just before the opening theme.
Does she? Okay, yeah. They also sometimes just move things around. But, they start with the TV special.
I only note because in that, they also just make child her very cute.
Oh yeah, she looks very adorable, little kid Akane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the setup happens. We're at Ryokanzawa. Again, almost everything that happens in the manga happens in the movie version. It's just a lot more fast paced. We're combining scenes together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll get to another one later on. I will mention that's a good example. But Akane has arrived. She gets attacked by a giant platypus. And this is where we meet Shinosuke, the main side character of this arc.
The side piece, if you will.
Yes. This is another thing that, is part of why it's so dramatic. This is, the closest we get to Akane actually choosing someone else over Ranma.
Mm-hmm.
Shinosuke maybe kind of has a chance. He doesn't because Ranma and Akane are destined to be together, but, he gets closer than anyone else has.
I mean, I do make note of it, the primary reason, at least in terms of what I saw, is mainly that Ranma's kind of a jerk, and Shinosuke's actually nice to her.
Yeah.
Even without the water of life affecting her cooking, he's unironically, sort of ironically, I will eat your cooking for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. No one tell him. He doesn't know.
Yeah, but there are multiple, they're kind of cliche, but those types of moments of him sort of accidentally proposing in the whole will you make miso soup for me every morning? That sort of thing. He's established because another cliche, we find out that when Akane was a little kid, he saved her. This is a memory she has of a decade before she even knew about Ranma. This is a kid from her childhood, a very important and formative memory. This boy saved her life and gave her a good luck charm, which she still has, and brings with her to Ryokanzawa because, again, the manga version made it more clear that she's got this feeling of something bad is happening. I have to go. because of all these signs pointing her to Ryuganzawa, rather than just, I saw it on TV and then I had a dream, I have to go.
Right.
But, like, yeah, Ryuganzawa, it is a forest, it's very misty, there are giant animals, and this is one of the things that got cut from the manga, like, just cut. Because in the manga version, Shinosuke's father has a whole flashback explaining how he opened a zoo, and then one of the animals got out and found the water of life and grew giant, and then came back and destroyed the zoo, which just caused more animals to escape and grow giant. And he's just like, well, I guess I just have a forest full of giant animals to tend to now.
So they did actually make mention of something like this, except it's just thrown off as a gag of like, oh, they're pets I used to have.
Yeah, like they even have like a little sound effect, like wah. Like it's meant to be funny that like she asks a very important question of why are there all these animals that aren't even native to Japan, and he's just like, I collect them.
Yep. I mean, that almost explains why he has a dodo of all things, but sure.
Yes, he's got all kinds of weird animals in this forest, but they're huge, they're giant, and things are getting restless lately. The animals are getting more wild. Akane bumps into Shinosuke, this handsome young boy. He lives here with his grandfather, and they take care of these animals, but as Shinosuke points out, that, like, sometimes one of the animals breaks out, causes problems, but don't worry, I got it covered. You can go back. It's dangerous. And then he immediately falls into one of his own traps, as we get the first of many examples of characters falling into these stupid pit traps he keeps making.
So, I just want to make note of something here. So, you know how I mentioned that some of my notes sort of presage later gags?
Yes.
So, when I was first going through, when I went through this, like the first episode, I noticed that, well, first of all, it says in the special, the monster of this place, but like, when it's shown in shadow, it's very, like, Haposai coded. Did you notice that?
Yeah, like when Haposai was first revealed and we just see the shadow silhouette.
Yes, it's very much like that.
The eyes definitely look the same.
Yeah, I mean, even down to like having a little like weird old man beak in shadow, but it turned out to be an actual bill. But like,
yeah.
But like later in the second episode, the actual monster of Ryuganzawa turns out to basically be a dirty old man.
Yeah, and on the one hand, I guess it's like, okay, it is the Orochi, the actual Japanese mythological figure, and I don't know, you bringing this up makes me think of like, of all the mythological monsters to include, Rumiko Takahashi just happened to pick the one that is known for loving alcohol and women when it came to, like, imagining the most horrifying creature to have lurking in the lake.
I mean, I'm just going to say that Rumiko Takahashi, for all of her, for all of her, like, good points and bad points, whatever they might be, she seems to have a type.
She knows what makes a good villain. Or what makes a good monster.
Oh, yeah. And for some reason, she really likes the womanizing drunken ones, yes.
Yeah, very few things more horrifying than that. But yeah, for most of the first half, we occasionally cut to some ominous shadow lurking in the forest. The monster of Ryuganzawa. And again, as explained, the animals are getting restless. At one point, there's like an earthquake. And like Shinosuke's grandfather is acting as if like, oh no, it's getting worse.
It's too soon, kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but also while all this is happening, Akane refuses to leave, and helps out Shinosuke, who is also succumbing to all sorts of various mysterious ailments, which does lead to the joke where she makes food for him and the grandfather, and they love it! It's great! Because again, food is very important in this arc.
Yeah, and I made sure to note that this is the true cryptid of the episode, and that it's men that can stomach Akane's cooking.
Yes.
Much less enjoy it unironically.
Ranma pretty much makes that exact same joke when he finds out. But yeah, this is another example of things that get compressed. In the manga version, there's like maybe 4 different scenes of Akane making food for Shinosuke, whereas in the animated version, there's like 2. Because they combine multiple of those scenes together. But like, yeah, this is what I mean. We're like, it's the same events, but they're combining them. And, you know, even with like a movie-length story, they still have to trim and compress things. But it's interesting of like when you're reading the manga version, it feels a lot slower and a lot more like the animated version, it's still good, but like it's the difference between Akane spending one evening with this guy versus she has shared multiple meals with him over the course of like 2 days.
Right, yeah, it's like 2 days versus like a week.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but like it feels more. It feels like Akane has spent more off-screen time getting close with Shinosuke, even though we don't see it. Whereas in the animated version, it feels like we pretty much see everything that goes on between the two. We didn't really miss anything.
I mean, that immediacy is sort of, it does feel like part of why she almost falls for him, because like when he half proposes, just because it's like it's still fresh in her mind, the like the verbal abuse she gets from Ranma versus this guy.
Yeah.
Like it seems a little fast, but not too fast. Like,
yeah. Like I said, I still like this version. I don't think it's like a downgrade or anything. I just think it's interesting how like this tiny, almost insignificant change does affect something. It's like they're both dramatic stories, but in one of the versions, it's like you said, it's like not enough time has passed. Akane hasn't even had time to fully process everything. Whereas in the manga version, it feels more like she's had more than enough time to process things, and that's leaving her more confused. She's been given more time alone with her thoughts, and that's making it harder for her to decide what to do as things rapidly escalate, and the problem comes up, because eventually we gain the main problem of the story. That being that, again, the monster of Ryoganzawa. There is an Orochi in the lake. The life water that has turned the animals giant and is giving life to the forest
is drying up. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of that stuff will be revealed, but the biggest problem is that years ago, when Shinosuke rescued Akane as a child when her family was here on vacation. I don't know why they were vacationing near Ryoganzawa, the place with monsters, but...
Don't worry about it.
Years ago, he got attacked by an animal protecting Akane. And this is how she ends up recognizing him. Again, there is a scene where she's taking a bath.
The scar on his back, yeah.
And, like, she sees the scar on his back. Yes, that's how she knows, because the thing with Shinosuke, he's very similar to Ryoga, except instead of a bad sense of direction, he has terrible memory.
Yes, and this actually reminds me of a couple of things that I wrote down, like, well, for one thing, I kind of feel like him constantly getting head trauma, like blunt force head trauma, is probably what's made his memory so bad.
Yes.
But also, when he finds out her name, he consciously like writes it down everywhere, and it just sort of unlocked a little bit of a memory of like an old Patrick Stewart movie from 1998 called Safe House, where he is playing like an ex-DEA agent or whatever, who is like getting like early onset dementia or Alzheimer's, and he has to like write down Post-it notes everywhere reminding him of things, and it just reminded me of that. And you know, whatever, Patrick Stewart, Safe House, 1998. It's a middling film, but yeah, it's fine. It just reminded me of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Shinosuke has terrible memory. Um, and like, there are parts like when he first meets her and she's like, "Are you the boy that saved me?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, like he looks at the family treasure and is like, I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, and it's presented like he's got this sort of attitude. Honestly, Shinosuke feels like a cross between Ranma and Ryoga, because he also has that sort of like attitude of like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you saved my life. I don't know. I don't remember that. Go home. Like, his attitude implies that even if he did remember, he would still deny it because he doesn't want Akane to be here in danger. He wants her to go home. So he just says, nope, you got the wrong person, leave.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, eventually it's revealed that, like, because of his injuries, the grandfather had to use the water of life on him, which cures him, but also he is now dependent on the water. Without the water, his injuries will start acting up again, and he will eventually die. And that's a problem, because the Orochi, we eventually find out, is waking up. It normally sleeps at the bottom of the lake, but as it shuffles and starts to wake up, it starts to block off the little underground water channels, and all the different wells and rivers start to dry up, and these are signs that it's waking up. And not only do we no longer have access to the moss that makes the water special and is the thing keeping Shinosuke alive, it's also going to be a problem because now there's a giant monster attacking.
Well, yes. You gotta have a giant monster.
But yeah, so, like, things get dramatic as we get through this. Eventually, Ranma shows up looking for Akane, and the drama only increases as he starts to see Akane with Shinosuke, and starts to see, like, he sees them holding hands. He sees them walking as Shinosuke is holding her hand and stuff at one point. Like, it takes to, like, the very end of the story for Ranma to find out that there's anything going on beyond just Akane likes this guy.
I was just reminded of a specific joke that I can't let go by.
Yes.
So when Ranma first arrives in the forest and comes across Shinosuke, oh, what did I write here? Ranma, the master investigator, second only to Columbo, asks Shinosuke if any girls hang out in the creepy monster forest. Any chicks? No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any girls around here? You know, chicks? No names? No names?
Yes. He doesn't even give anything specific. Are there any girls here?
Yeah, any.
Are there any? Doesn't even specify what they might look like.
And then his complaint later, upon seeing Akane and Shinosuke together, is just like, that jerk was lying to me.
Yeah, we do get that, like, cause Shinosuke's like, I haven't seen any girls here, sorry. And then he goes home and sees Akane. He's like, oh right, I forgot about her.
Yeah, he comes back and is like, oh yeah, there is a girl here. I feel bad for that guy.
From Ranma's perspective, this guy just lied to him and is hiding Akane here. And Akane is happily making him food, holding hands with him. And Ranma's just like, this isn't even like tsundere jealousy. This is like actual, like, oh, she's actually cheating on me.
I mean, to be fair, he's also just been constantly chased by giant animals this whole time. So yes, he's a little frazzled.
That too. It doesn't help that there's all these, like, pit traps and giant animals making it annoying that he had to come all this way for this.
Yeah, I mean, like when he confronts her at the house, and it's, like, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but like I just have it written down, like, Ranma, a man with multiple fiancées, can read the signs and cannot deal with Akane wanting in on that action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not actually what happened, but you know.
Yeah. I guess if we want to play devil's advocate, Ranma doesn't want those fiancés. Like, Ranma isn't cooking meals for Shampoo or frolicking with Ukyo holding hands and stuff. Ranma is not running away from home to live with them.
I mean, on occasion he does take advantage of the situation with them to be like, to get like little treats here and there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or because the plot demands it.
Yeah, Ranma will occasionally find excuses to, like, flirt with other girls for his own ulterior motives. But as far as he is concerned, Akane doesn't have one of those. She does, because as far as Akane thinks Shinosuke is dying, which is an important factor here. That is one of the things that makes it hard for her to leave. Eventually, when we get the dramatic moment where Ranma finally finds her and confronts her, and she's like, I'm sorry, Ranma, I have to stay here. I'm not leaving Shinosuke. And, like, part of that motivation is the knowledge that he is dying. She's not gonna leave a dying man, especially when they're starting to kind of maybe form a sort of subtle romance, maybe. You get the impression she's not really trying to think about that part, and she's using the dying thing as an excuse, but it's definitely not making it easy to go through with this. She definitely comes across as more, like, confronted by her own emotions in all this.
I mean, it does come across like that in the animated version as well. Like, it is pretty well put forth.
Yeah. So yeah, there's stuff, all sorts of things like that. At one point, Ryoga is here just 'cause.
I mean, it does use his usual thing of, where the hell am I now? So
yes.
Eternal Lost Boy.
Yes, but like we do get like moments of he is even more upset to see Akane with someone other than Ranma. He doesn't even go, wait, Akane is with another man? He's like, no, Akane is with someone who's not Ranma.
Yeah, it's like, Ranma is my rival in the battle of love with Akane. Who's this guy?
Yeah, I didn't even know she had a third guy. But yeah, Ryoga's mostly just here for Ranma to have someone to bounce off of, I guess. He's not super important to the narrative. In fact, this feels like one of those cases where the OAVs just add a character.
Did they?
They did it. He was in the manga version, but it feels like that.
Oh.
It feels like he was inserted into this story when he wasn't originally there. But yeah, this is a dramatic story, and I think the most dramatic scene is the one where Ranma tries to fight Shinosuke. And that one does have another minor change, but one that I think that one does make a huge difference. Akane says she's staying, Ranma leaves, he bumps into Ryoga, they have a back and forth, but then eventually Ranma goes back, 'cause there's another thing, the order of things get changed. In the manga version, we're already introduced to the grandfather's plot to, like, dress up as a lady and get the Orochi drunk.
Oh, really?
Whereas, yeah, the animated version doesn't do that till later.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere in the anime, yeah.
Yeah. In the manga version, they do a joke where, like, he sneaks off in the middle of the night. He's like, I'm sorry, kids. If I don't make it back, I have to take care of this. And then he leaves. And then, like, Ryoga is trying to get answers and ambushes him. And the guy turns around and he's wearing a dress. And he's like, what? He's like, go away. I have to fight the Orochi.
He's in a wedding dress, yeah.
Women are his favorite snacks. But yeah, in that version, again, they combined several scenes. In the manga version, the, like, accidental proposal scene happens, and then it just ends. That's just a separate thing. Then in a later scene, Shinosuke finds out about the grandpa and the whole dressing up as a woman to lure out the Orochi plot, and the grandpa leaves, and Shinosuke's like, I don't understand. Why is grandpa so dead set on this water? Why is he going out of his way so much more than usual? What is happening? I feel like he's hiding something. Akane, do you know? And then at that exact moment, Ranma shows up. And he starts demanding an explanation of, like, why? What is wrong with me? What does he have that I don't have? And Akane's literally caught between the two. She can't answer both their questions.
Because she's also been sworn to secrecy on the whole Shinosuke's dying thing.
Which, we do get several jokes where the grandpa is like, remember, we can't let him find out. And as soon as Shinosuke walks in, he just starts crying. He's like, no, my boy, come back, don't leave me.
Yes. Or as I called it, Episode 2, The Lying Game.
But yes, in the animated version, those two separate scenes get combined. The accidental proposal gets interrupted, and that's when Ranma shows up, and this is the little thing that leads to their fight.
I mean, honestly, it works.
Yeah, that is a perfectly good place to combine those two scenes into one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, we don't, like you said, when the whole, like, dressing up as women plan gets revealed later, it does kind of come out of nowhere, but, like, it's not a huge deal. We don't need to set it up that far in advance. That's something that we can easily cut. So I understand them compressing it this way. I don't think that's a huge change. What I do think is a huge change is that, like, now that this confrontation is happening, Ranma is demanding answers from Akane, and she can't respond. Shinosuke gets in between. He's like, hey, leave her alone. You're upsetting her. I think you should go. And the two of them start arguing. It escalates into a full-on fight, during which Akane notices that Shinosuke is feeling the pains again because he hasn't drank the water of life yet. And he's about to get hurt. In the anime version, Akane then jumps in between them and stands in front of Ranma's attack. And Ranma stops, dead in his tracks, and he's like, oh, she has chosen him. Okay, never mind then. And I think what's really important to note, in the manga version, she actually hits Ranma.
Oh, really?
She doesn't just get in his way, she attacks him. She makes him stop.
Oh, that's actually more impactful. Yeah, that should have happened.
And, like, Ranma's reaction in both versions, he is speechless. He is shocked. And then he goes, okay, I understand. I will leave now. And then he leaves.
Off to his sulking canyon.
Yeah, he says he's gonna leave and tries to be manly, but then he just starts sulking in the corner, feeling sad about himself. But yeah, his reaction makes sense in both, but like, when she actually hits him, it feels more warranted. It feels like it makes sense for him to be shocked and then immediately accept it. He doesn't have any further questions. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
She has made her choice. This is the only time she has ever, like, attacked him in a non-cartoonish manner. This is like, oh, she is serious about this. Never mind. This is what gets Ranma to back down, something he pretty much never does. And yeah, that scene is still pretty dramatic, even in the animated version. But the manga version feels even more dramatic. It feels like, oh, this is really serious now.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, all of that, and then eventually the Orochi shows up, and all the drama is like, well, we gotta put everything aside, there's a bunch of dragon heads attacking, now we gotta deal with this.
Oh, before we get to that part, I just want to make note of one thing. So, you know the ad transition scene card they have there, right?
Yeah.
I can actually put it into the text chat. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see that outfit that Ranko is wearing, right?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I had an immediate, like, it doesn't look exactly like it, but it does look a lot like Eiko from Project Eiko.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's the long skirt. Sorry, the long school skirt and the crop top school blouse.
Yeah, it's the the white and blue sailor uniform that some schools have. Mm-hmm.
Now the ribbon is different, but it is strikingly similar.
Yeah, Ranma in that outfit definitely gives Eiko vibes. I didn't really think about that, but yes, I could see that. Because yeah, once the Orochi is here, then everybody has to start cross-dressing to mess with the Orochi.
And I'm just like, Ranma, why are you cross-dressing?
Yeah, it is relevant because, like, yes, boy Ranma is wearing the girl's outfit because all the men are dressing up as women to lure the Orochi away, while Akane, dressed in a boy's uniform, is trying to climb the dragon and steal the moss. And it's a good look on her, I gotta say.
It is. It absolutely is. Like even and when her jacket gets stripped off, the Bosuzoku or whatever it is, like the bandage.
The chest bindings.
The bandage top also looks really good on her.
Yes, they are both good looks on her. Like just the regular uniform and then the battle damage version. The implication here is that luring the Orochi is more dangerous than climbing it and trying to rub stuff off of its head. Therefore, Akane gets that job. But because she's a girl, she has to dress up as a boy so it won't eat her, while the others try and distract it while dressed up as women. They're all wearing different outfits. Ryoga gets a sexy nurse outfit.
Yeah, Shinosuke's in the sexy cop outfit, and of course Ranma is in the sexy school sailor uniform. Yes. Yeah,
they're all wearing outfits. It doesn't work, I'm pretty sure.
Obviously. I mean, especially since the grandpa has a huge beard and is like in a wedding outfit and just like, hey there, big boy, would you like some of this? Ah.
Yeah, I forget who says it, but one of them is straight up like, I think the outfits are just making it matter. I think we're just making it worse. And like the whole thing, at one point the grandpa's like, don't worry, it only eats women, we'll be safe, and then it breathes fire on them. And we're like, okay, well it doesn't want to eat us, at least. It is still trying to kill us.
Yes. I mean, the amount of remaining time that has, like, Ryoga and Shinosuke, and I guess the grandma, sporting, like, fake breasts is remarkable, I have to say.
Yes, they keep the outfits on way longer than they need to. But yeah, the whole fight with the Orochi, it is the big set piece of the arc, and just like the rest of the arc, they do move some events around, but they're all the same events. It's just like the order of things. Like, for example, in the animated version, Ranma, like, immediately realizes, wait, I'm stupid, I could just get wet and actually lure the Orochi away.
Yes.
Whereas, the manga version keeps that until afterwards. Like, specifically, Akane is in danger, I need to lure it away. As opposed to, like, well, this plan isn't working, I'm gonna do this so Akane can have an easier time. The fight hasn't escalated enough that, like, we could say Akane is in serious danger, but by the end of the fight, yeah, it is a serious threat. And, you know, minor changes like that. Again, I don't think those are important, but the important thing is they're fighting off the Orochi, and then eventually find out, hey, there's a head missing.
I mean, no, the important part is the animators get to animate Ranko being silly.
Yes.
That's the important part. And then, you know, Orochi, his head.
Yes, where Ranma decides to go full girl mode and lure the Orochi, he is frolicking, he is having a lot like, woohoo, come get me! Doo-doo-doo! Very whimsical, very cute.
He's tiptoeing through the tulips.
Yes, it is interesting how, like, again, I said before, this arc is very dramatic, but later arcs are dramatic in, like, a shonen action sense. We are fighting a big, giant, bad guy, we are fighting a monster, but, like, this kind of shows off, like, the Orochi fight is, like, technically the most serious thing. It is the biggest threat, it is the biggest action sequence. It's also the goofiest and most cartoonish. It's where the most jokes are.
Yeah, that was actually really notable. Like, a little bit later when Akane is caught and is brought down to the bottom of the lake and is just about to be eaten, like, in comes Ranma with a giant rock and just, well, as I say, rock blocks the dragon.
Yeah. I like the grandpa being like, what's the matter? Am I not pretty enough? Come on, come and get me. He's still trying to make the plan work.
And bless him for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the most dramatic part, Akane gets dragged under the lake, and in the manga, this is when Ranma gets wet. He is still in boy form, but then he jumps in, which does lead to the moment where, like, everybody dives in after Akane, and then Shinosuke just sees this girl and a pig show up out of nowhere, and he's like, what?
Okay, that is something that probably should have been in the animated.
Yes, I do think that
would have been great.
It kind of makes it funny. There's also a little extra joke where, like, the bad makeup that they were all wearing is getting washed off. So they have these, like, ugly, goofy faces, like Ramen and Shinosuke see each other's face, and they're like, argh! Like, we just see the bubbles as they, like, scare each other. But yeah, I do think it's cute that, like, this is the first time Shinosuke sees Ranma transform, is when Akane is actually in danger. And then when they emerge, then we get the moment where Akane's like, Shinosuke, take good care of Akane, and then he runs off to distract the Orochi. And that's when that sequence happens in the manga version. In the anime version, that happens first, then Akane gets dragged, then they get her out, then Ranma has the moment, take care of her, and then he just goes back and resumes fighting the Orochi like he already was, except I guess now he is determined to, if he has to die, that's
Ranma has learned self-sacrifice.
Yeah. And, like, I will note that, like, in the manga version, Ranma is actively in more danger now. He knows that this thing will eat him. Whereas in the anime version, he was already fighting in girl form. This isn't he's not doing anything new. It's more of an emotional thing. It is him seeing Akane and Shinosuke and concluding, oh, these two belong together. Therefore, I no longer care if I survive this. So, like, I think both are kind of equally dramatic, but yeah, rearranging of events. There is a little running gag that, like, it's still in the animated version, but they took out some of them, including my favorite instance of it. So, Shinosuke keeps forgetting that he already confessed his love to Akane.
Right. I mean, they did do that at the very end.
Yes.
Like, I wish I'd have gotten to tell her my feelings.
Yes. They keep it at the end, but it happens more times in the manga version. And my favorite is here, where Shinosuke is died. He is at the end of his rope. He needs the moss now. And, like, Akane just barely gets her. She's like, no, we got the moss. You can do it, Shinosuke. Please don't die. And he's like, Akane, I'm not gonna make it, but I need to tell you, I love you. And then he passes out, and she's like, oh no! He forgot he already told me! Like, just the goofiness of, like, that's the thing she immediately focused on, not that he's unconscious, so like, oh no, he's forgetting again!
I mean, it does sort of set up that this doesn't need to be held in any kind of canon, because at the very least, he'll forget she exists like tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, who knows? Like, that's part of why he falls in love with her, because after writing her name down a couple times, he doesn't forget her. He forgets details like the confession, but, like, at one point he just straight up acknowledges, I remember you. You're Akane. Like, he is excited that, like, this person means enough to me that I remember her. And then they immediately do the joke where he forgets the grandpa. He's like, who are you?
Yes. That was a good joke.
But yeah, then we get the final sequence. And this is where the whistle comes in. This is another running gag from the manga version that got cut. But, like, the grandpa likes to over-explain things. Like I said, he has a whole flashback about the zoo backstory.
Oh, really?
And, like, they do keep one joke at one point in the animated version where he just suddenly has a film projector explaining the intricacies of the lake. But that happens way more frequently in in the manga version, because they're like one of the ones he's like, there's one solution, but we can't. We need the whistle. It was forged by this and this and this from the legendary
the horned lizard or whatever it was. Yeah,
yeah, the horned mongoose.
The horned mongoose. That's what it was.
Yes, the Orochi's natural predator, and he just pulls out like diagrams of the mongoose and the exact process of how the whistle is made.
Oh wow.
Whereas in the anime version, they keep it dramatic. He's like, that's the whistle. Oh, that's the thing. You have to blow it.
How did you get it?
Yeah, so the whistle will put the Orochi to sleep. They could have just done that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know. The problem, though, is that the Orochi is now grabbing Ranma. If it goes to sleep, it will fall asleep with Ranma in its mouth and just drag him down into the lake. So Akane has to do one last run in and rescue. Again, they got the battle damage. This is the part where, hey, we haven't had naked Ranma yet. We need to insert that somewhere.
Yes. Well, obviously.
Yeah, but you know what? As long as we're sharing screenshots, I got one for you. In the manga version, Ranma's clothing don't get damaged. We don't get naked Ranma. And I think that's better because I just think this is a much funnier and goofier visual.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Ranma lying in the mouth, like butt in the air, but like still wearing the uniform, the little cutesy, like girls' school uniform. That's just a lot funnier than like, here is naked Ranma for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, here is Neki Ranma, yeah. Runko.
Yeah. But yeah, we get the whole final sequence. Akane is the one that saves Ranma in the end, and then as they're falling away from the dragon, they blow the whistle. They don't defeat the Orochi, they just put it to sleep. Very convenient, but yeah,
I mean, when it comes to immortal monsters, all you can really do is put them asleep traditionally.
Yeah.
Make them someone else's problem.
Yeah.
That's future, this area's problem.
And it conveniently falls asleep in a position that doesn't block the holes again. Because that was the whole problem, is that it was shuffling in its sleep and blocking the underground currents. But I guess this time it falls asleep in a good position, so the waters get restored, the animals are safe, Shinosuke is safe, and we get our whole final resolutions.
That scene is, I was going to say, that scene is where she makes the determination to say, I have to save him. He's my fiancé.
Yes! That is a really good line. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, between this and Ranma accusing her of cheating, this arc is maybe the most that, like, they just don't even deny being a couple. Neither of them do. As far as they're concerned for this arc, no, we are a couple. This does count as cheating. That's her fiancé. She will save him. This is one of the most, like, overtly connected the two are in the series.
Yeah, it made the bit at the end where he's, like, all bashful to hold her hand on the way home even better.
Yeah, it is a very cute ending. They kind of skip over some stuff. That also happens in the manga, although I think it's funny that, like, in the manga version, there's just, like, an omniscient narrator that's just like, so the Orochi fell asleep, this happened, and then we just cut to later in the evening. In the animated version, I guess they figured, you know what, Ryoga hasn't done anything in a while, let's have him narrate this for some reason.
Yeah, he just casually headlock walking Ranma out of the area.
Yes, just cut to that. Because. And like, yeah, Akane says her goodbyes to Shinosuke. Again, she had the moment. She clearly said, Ranma is my fiancé. I'm gonna save him. So by the time we skip forward, Shinosuke has more or less accepted that she has chosen another. And then again, we get the joke of him. He's like, I never even got to tell her I loved her.
He's already forgotten.
Yes, give it a bit. He'll eventually forget about her. It's not the biggest deal, but yeah. And yes, Ryoga. I do think Ryoga could have just gone back with them, but no, he just beats up Ranma and then leaves, so they could be alone. He could be alone with Akane on the way back. I don't know. You could read into that however you want.
I don't even think he meant to split up. He just kind of did.
Yeah, he just kind of... It is weird. They're all kind of together, and then Ryoga drags Ranma away to, like, beat him up a little bit, and then the next scene is Ranma and Akane alone, so that we can get the proper ending of Ranma trying to hold Akane's hand, and then she grabs it, and it's a very sweet ending. It's, again, this is one of the most, like, there isn't even a hint at these two being tsundere towards each other. Neither of them are even remotely denying being a couple in this entire arc.
They're just, okay, you're the person I'm actually really interested in right now, yes.
Yeah. Although it is cute in the manga version, the anime version, that sequence is mostly silent. In the manga version, we get all these thought bubbles of Ranma thinking about what to say to her. Just being like, I'm glad you're safe. Hey, I'm glad we can go back together. Hey, thanks for saving me. Just all sorts of things, and then not saying them as he just starts sweating and then tries to reach for her hand and silently.
That's cute.
And yeah, that's the end of that movie.
I just remembered a part from the movie that I did also enjoy. In between finding Ranma in the Silk Canyon and the actual fight, just Ryoga doing more emotional damage to Ranma than he has ever done physically. And just, it goes on for like 30 seconds. And he's just reveling in it.
Again, Ryoga doesn't really matter here, but he is definitely, like, you get the impression there is at least a part of him that's enjoying getting to rub it in, that like, aha, you were also rejected, Ranma. Welcome to the loser's corner. Which also, that reminds me, there is one joke in the animated version that is new, that I love. Oh. It's, again, in the manga version, the family assumes that Akane is upset because of the curry. But they remove that plot, so now they think she's upset because Ranma made fun of her. So they had an extra joke where Nabiki is like, do you really think she'd be upset about that? And then Kasumi is just like, listen, Akane can be very overly sensitive, childish, stubborn, bratish, just like listing off multiple things in a row before they interrupt her. The fact that they interrupt her, she doesn't even finish the list. She's just casually listing off all of Akane's flaws. Of like, of course she might get upset by this.
Right, remember that now.
But yeah, that's a whole thing. Again, even in the manga version, this feels like the kind of plot that you would expect for an anime movie, like an original anime film. Like this is the feeling of like you're watching the Naruto movie or one of the One Piece movies. This is like, it might not be canon, but like they're still treating it as like a huge big deal.
Right.
So like, yeah, it definitely feels like a movie, and if you watch the two specials back to back, the two OAVs, it is the length of a movie.
Ish.
It's the length of the other movies.
Yeah.
They are the length of a double feature film or a made-for-TV live-action film. Either way, it is roughly the same length as all the other things that we unequivocally call a movie. And just, yeah, a movie can be anything, but at least in this case, you get the feeling of a movie more if you watch this, because I've listed examples for why I think I vastly prefer the manga version because of those minor changes, but they're still very minor. The animated version is still a very dramatic story. It still takes itself more seriously, and even though there's fewer jokes, they're still pretty funny. It is still entertaining. This is one of the better stories out there. And because it's an OAV, you can very easily just single it out. Again, you could have just bought one VHS tape and it has the whole thing here right for you in one tape.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that. So I'm glad I was able to scrounge this one theme together to get these two not movies out of the way.
Oh, can I just say something about the the opening and ending themes that I did see? Yeah. Like they're the ones that got translated. I can't remember the name of the opening, but like One thing that I did one thing that I did like about it was that, okay, like, Akane and Nabiki's singing voices are, they sound fairly, they sound good. They sound decent.
Yeah.
And then you get to Kasumi's singing voice, and it's just 3 times better.
Yes!
She put her whole chest into it.
Yes, Kasumi's English voice actor is like the only one that feels actively trained as a singer. She's the only one that knows how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
The others, they're fine. They're not bad singers, but they sing about as well as if you just ask random people on the street to sing. They are not professionals.
I mean, I also do just like that Ranma was, and just Ranma is included in the singing list, but not really.
Yeah, I think Rama is included more in the other songs, but the 2 that they translated for the English release conveniently have the least Ranma in them, which might be good, because in one of them, like, you can clearly hear the voice actress's voice start to crack. Like, she doesn't seem like she's having a good time singing.
Yeah, that's true. But and the ending theme, it was Red Shoe Sunday, I think it was called.
Yes.
But, like, I think this is actually one of my favorite, like, OVA, like, songs.
Yeah.
Just primarily because of Shampoo's bit at the start. It's just so very bubbly,
Yeah.
And then, the Kasumi part where the doctor, I can't remember his name.
Dr. Tofu.
Is like, yeah, Dr. Tofu, there we go. Is just like, all black suited and looking cool for her, and then just like cowering behind the house because he can't work up the courage to actually talk to her.
Yeah, that one is cute. It's that's also my favorite of the Doko songs, and I'm curious because, like, that's the second outro. They, like, when picking the 2 to translate, they didn't just pick the first intro and the first outro. They mixed and matched a bit. Like, here is, like, one of the songs. Here's, like, the third of the Doko songs. Like, they went out of their way to pick these 2 specifically. And I'm curious, because, like, Red Shoe Sunday was not the first OVA outro.
Oh, really?
For some reason, they chose that one specifically, and I'm curious if maybe someone just picked their favorites, because that one is, I think, one of the better songs.
I mean, that does make sense. Yeah, they probably did just choose their favorites and decided, we don't need to do the Christmas one.
Yeah, it is still weird. Like, I think it was the first one too. Like, you get to the end of part 1. Where Shinosuke's dying, and then suddenly Christmas music starts playing. It's so weird.
Oh, God. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Or whatever it is.
Yeah. But yeah, good use of those. I am glad that they at least dubbed two of the songs, Yeah,
no, it was a good choice. I liked it. I like that they gave it a go.
Yeah. I've talked before, like, the themes for the anime for, like, the first 2 seasons had, like, lyrics that like matched the melody of the songs, but they didn't dub them. So I'm curious if they were planning to at one point, like they did with the OAVs.
Things get lost in the plans. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, those were those storylines. Any last things to say about these 2, the legendary Phoenix and the Ryuganzawa stories?
I'm gonna say that to anyone listening, if you haven't actually watched it or watched them, please do. They're worth a watch. It's only gonna be like a little over an hour out of your day.
Yeah. And it is a lot easier to recommend, hey, here is an OVA, watch this one. Rather than like, hey, watch episode 136 or something. It's a lot harder to recommend those.
Yeah. I mean, you can if you just section off like 60 gigabytes of a external hard drive. Just get the whole set.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just get the whole thing. I also have an external hard drive for everything, including the harder to find stuff. Like the other specials that don't count as OVAs or movies. I got those as well, backed up. But yeah, these are definitely like among the easier to recommend, not just because of the format, but just like, yeah, these are good stories. These are good episodes, movies, whatever you want to call them. They are good things to watch.
They have their good points. I'm not sure if I would do it myself, but definitely contrast and compare to the manga if you can.
It wasn't necessary. I just like seeing those differences. But again, they're mostly very minor ones.
No, it's a fascinating thing to investigate. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what they had to change, or what they felt like they needed to change.
Yeah. And it has been the most fun part of this. While researching these, I found some like older, some stuff that I covered in older episodes of this podcast, where I'm like, oh, I didn't think to like recheck it before recording, so there's stuff I missed. But like by this point, I've got in the habit of like, no, I want to see every version of this possible, because it is fun to compare and contrast those, even if they're not important.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I do hope people enjoyed learning about these stories. Before we sign off, hey, I've got a Ko-fi link in case anyone wants to tip something. I'm like, this podcast isn't big enough for a Patreon or anything fancy, but there's something over there. If you just look at the description, It's so insignificant, I don't even remember what the actual Ko-fi link is, so I cannot say it, but
it will be listed in the description.
You can write to us at ramapodcast@gmail.com if you just want to. I still don't even know what to specifically ask for. Hey, if there's something you want covered, if you are upset that we didn't actually cover the real movie, go ahead and message me, and I might get around to it faster. But that's about all I got. Do you have anything you'd like to promote? Where can people find you?
I mentioned at the very start that I use my streamer name on Discord, so I stream on twitch.tv as _Baphomet. I might, by the time this comes out, I might or might not have done a side rebranding of like from Baphomet to Uncle, because I don't know, I just feel like that will be less confusing to people I raid into, because half the time people are like, oh hey, it's Baphomet, or Baphomet, it's something
yes.
I've noticed. But yeah, so I currently I'm streaming like 3 days a week. I think I'm going to bring it back down to 2.
3 is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But yeah, so the Tuesdays I play a classic game on original hardware, like the PlayStation 2, and very soon Super Nintendo, as soon as I can get some things set up. And on Saturdays, I play a more modern game. Like, up until recently, I was playing the new Resident Evil with the FBI agent.
Yeah.
That was real fun. Getting all the cheapos for it was very fun. But yes, anyway, you can find me there. You can find me at Twitter and on Blue Sky. I actually do have the links to those on my Twitch, so if you find me there, you'll find me the other places. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, it's been good having you here for this. I've been enjoying giving people like homework assignments, although I do always feel guilty of like, watch these movie length things on top of your schedule. So I'm glad you were able to find time for these and enjoyed them.
It is actually a little bit more enjoyable than just having just reacting to having it being described. I think yeah. It's a little bit more for me, a little bit more for the guest to do.
Yeah, that is another thing. And also, like, now that we're past, like, the broad topics of, like, here is everything to do with Ranma's mom, here's, like, 9 different stories, now I can just be like, watch these 2 things. That feels more manageable, but also, again, I am now giving people homework, so I do feel bad sometimes, but yeah, I'm glad you were able to enjoy that.
Yeah, the only reason it took so long for me to get to this point is, I think, just mental things going on in the background.
But yeah, I hope everyone listening also enjoyed, and I hope everyone now has more things to take into consideration when asking themselves, what do Ranma and Ryoga do in the bath together?
I like to think that they kiss sometimes.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? Good night, folks.
Good night.